I want to experience all aspects of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game at their fullest extent, and in order to do that I've decided to start from scratch while locking my progress behind the joy of opening booster packs and trading with fellow duelists. We're reliving my childhood love for the game while also building towards competitive success. Or in other words, we are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Properly. Subscribe. Today we finally get started on the Despian Dream thanks to some local trades, and it is gonna be epic. In the last one, we traded off our ultimate rare skill drain for a large selection of cards to push us towards a rough Bestial Despia list that we've kind of been aiming for. We also used our old Predaplant heavy list for the last time and scored first place at locals. It's gonna be real sad to let go of some of the cards and engines we've worked so hard towards, but it's all in the name of progress. Now we have a lot of different things to talk about today, but first things first, we got Date with some shiny cardboard.
Look at all those chickens!
Another day, another hit of the Darkwing Blast coming our way here. Hopefully our luck's a little bit better this episode than it was last episode. Last episode we opened a bunch of packs, pulled fuck all, came first, got a bunch more packs, and then continued to pull fuck all. So hopefully we can actually pull something today. 8 packs of Darkwing Blast, a lot of good cards in here that we can pull. We need Lubellion, we need our third Magnamu, and we just need value in general. So, you know, Truest Worm, Fenrir, Unicorn, a lot of good cards. Honestly can't think of any other secret rares in this set outside of just Lubellion. But yeah, let's just crack on into it, see what we pull, what we can trade for, and if we can actually do something this week with our pools. Scareclaw Decline, we have Tesla, Pet Liger King, Kashtira Ogre, and right off the bat we have an ultra rare, Vera, the Vernisylph Goddess. Pretty sure this is like 99p, not really worth anything, which is unfortunate because it could have been a Fenrir or a Unicorn. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. At least we pulled our Ultra in the first pack rather than the last pack. So we still have potential here. We can still pull things. Zonda the Dusk, Black Wings. We got another Tesla here. Freki the... Did we pull both of those? No, we didn't. Okay, cool. Freki, we got Amazon, a Silver Sword Master. Oh, baby! Let's go! Bestial Druis Worm. Finally! That's what I'm talking about. Honestly, would have preferred the Magnamu pool because we literally have 3 Druis Worm, but we can potentially trade this for the third Magnamu. That's the only issue. It's just a slight inconvenience. Yeah, because it did go up in value to roughly Magnamu prices. Really nice pool. Thank God for that, dude. We have 4 Druis Worm. That's crazy. Secret Arts and Noodles and Hot Wheels. Let's go. Woo! Okay, we're pulling it back. We're finally getting lucky. Let's go, baby. Let's freaking go. What else we got in here? Come on, if we pull Magnamu as well, then holy moly, that's gonna be great. Silent Wolf Kalupo. If we pull Magnamu as well, this is literally half a Guardian Chimera, which is nutty. We got Decisive Battle of Golgonda, Tabari the Sky Ninja, Naturia, Camellia, and oh my god, bro, these pulls! Valance Awakening Solo Activation. This is our second one of these, right? I don't think we traded off the previous one. So we have 2 of these. Yeah, I mean, 2 spells isn't enough to play Valance or anything. Someone did say it's really good, actually. We have Blessing and great artwork there. That's it for that one. Alright, pretty much a hit in every pack so far. We're finally pulling it back, baby. Silent Wolf Kalupo. We got the B-Stars, Yorishiro of the Aqua, Laughing Puffin, Ninjutsu Art of Dancing Leaves, Rex, Fright for Hire. Okay, that's our first dud, I guess. Dragonic Pendulum, well, I mean, you could say that Ultras are also duds, but, you know, they're Ultras, man. They're 1 in 6. They're harder to pull. Even if they're worth nothing, they still have shiny names and look nice in our binder. Tesla, like number 7 of these, pulling 1 in every pack. Scareclaw Decline, Tabari the Sky Ninja, Amazon a Spiritualist, come on, baby. Lubellion! Damn. Snopios, Shade of the Goatee, little octopus dude at the bottom of the ocean. Got a whole bunch of, is that Cordyceps? Is that Cordyceps coming out his ass? Who knows? We'll go with Noodles again. Let's go. Honestly, if the rest are supers, I won't be too surprised here. 2 Ultras is probably what you would expect. I mean, even just 1, to be honest. We got Silver Sword Master, Tilting Trains, Vernisylph in Full Bloom, Black Wings Onto the Dusk, and Spell Card, Branded Regained. Well, it turns out we didn't need to trade for this after all. But we did, so this is just a spare. Honestly, don't even know if we're 100% going to be playing this in the final build, because we do have a lot of one-offs that don't really do anything by themselves, so might have to kind of reduce the number there. However, Branded Regained, It's a good pool. We'll take it. It's a nice super rare. Vernusylph in full bloom. We have B stars once again. Zonda the Dusk, Tabari the Sky Ninja, and a trap card. Goatee Fury, Fish Fury. Man, we have so many Goatee cards after these past few openings. But final pack of Darkwing Blast. What is it gonna be? Can we pull a secret rare? Can we pull a Starlight rare? Can we pull anything? Anything, please. Original Bamboo Sword. Oh, Cucumber Horseman. Naturia Mole Cricket. We have Kashtira Preparations, Kashtira Ogre, Biorock Dragon, Amazonas Augusta. We have Yorishiro of the Aqua. It's a spell card. It's not a Starlight rare, but it is black. Feather Whirlwind. Okay. Okay. I mean, this is acceptable, I guess. We pulled Druis Worm. That's like £15 in value. That's essentially our third Magnamoot, so we're golden. I think we're golden here. That'll do. That'll do. Okay, very nice, very nice.
Well, not the best pulls ever, but it's still at least a solid tenner in our pocket to go towards the rest of the cards we need. And speaking of cards we need, there's two old trades that came to fruition at locals recently. Jess and Derek both agreed to these trades back in December, but we didn't actually seal the deal until I finally saw them at locals.
I traded Druis Worm for our playset of Lone Fires. Amazing. Is that it? There was no supers.
That was amazing in the free.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Wow. I really plussed there, didn't I? Boom. There you go.
Thank you, pal.
Enjoy. Alright, Derek, we have a trade. Showing off the flashy binder, let's go.
Alright, not for that. Or those.
Nope, nope, nope.
There you go.
A big fat stack of cards in here. Very nice, we'll look at that in a second. What is it, I'm GU?
You are due me a Foolish Barrier secret, I think.
Oh shit, yeah, that's in my deck. Alright. I'll give it to you after locals. Secret Rare Foolish Burial for Queritus, Saronir, and the two patchworks we need. Let's go. Hell yeah. Thanks, Derek. Bye-bye.
Reborn Borderlands.
Thank you.
And with that, we can finally get started on our new deck. Now, I would love to say we have a regional to build for in this episode. You know, the one in Glasgow at the end of January we were prepping for. However, I may have done a bit of an oopsie. Apparently, I didn't buy a ticket and it sold out. Thankfully, though, there's one more regional in Paisley at the end of this month, and then YCS London got announced for April 1st, so we can one-trick our way to the end of the series at the pinnacle of competitive play. Bottom tables at a YCS. What has me a little concerned about all of this is the uncertainty of the format to come. We can get a ban list at any minute now, meaning the format could change quicker than we could even adapt. But we're just gonna have to deal with it. So when it comes to structuring our deck now, we can't stick to the list that we were originally aiming for. We now have to take Kashtira and Photon Hypernova into consideration. There are some new branded cards in there that can be useful, however, we need to put some thought into a new set of weaknesses, combo lines, and versatility before making any big decisions. And honestly, I'm leaning towards them not really being worth the extra deck space as it is right now. Thankfully, with Kashtira entering the metagame, I don't think we need to change our deck too much. Of course, Bystials become less relevant as the slice of Tearlament pie gets smaller, but we can play through their board with the right hand since they can't lock the extra monster zone. Obviously, I would need to play a bunch of test matches to get a better idea for the optimal changes in our main deck, but for now we can just blow out the deck with things like Book of Eclipse and Nibiru in the side deck, so that's what we should really be aiming for in terms of trades. Okay, real quick insert here. Literally as I'm filming the audio you were just listening to, a ban list got dropped, and definitely not what I was expecting. I thought tier limits were going to stick around for a lot longer. They've kind of attempted to slaughter the deck. They've literally just said buy Kashtira, like, look at this, dude. So Scythe band, very nice. Barrier Statue band, also very nice. Fluunderies, one of the top decks. We don't really have to worry about that as much anymore. Barrier Statue was kind of what we were struggling with because we can make Mirror Jade under the M-Pen. So we don't care about Fluunderies anymore. Already switching up the meta. Kikhalos band, very cool. Sprite Elf band. Obviously, Elf is a really strong card, and it did need to go, but I don't think anyone was expecting that just yet. Then we go to the limited section, and every single Ishizu card limited, every single Tearlament main deck monster except Rhino Heart limited. You could probably still play Tearlaments because you have 3 Field Spell, 3 Rhino Heart. You still have all of these limited. You just have to put in some other engines, I imagine, like Branded Engine maybe, and things like King of the Swamp to get a Rokalos. So I can see the deck still existing, and if OCG is anything to go by, obviously, you know, people are still going to play the deck. Ancient Fairy Dragon, very cool, and then Unlimited, Destrudo, Jet Synchron, O-Line, Servant, Lithosagem, okay, Yatagarasu, and Spiral Resort. So our great news is that the Despian Dream will remain. This is most likely going to be the list we play under for YCS London, so our deck is free to go. It's almost like this was fate, dude. As I was filming the video, they just dropped it. Hell yeah, I don't normally do Banlist reactions, but let's go. So it looks like, going forward, we are indeed in a very good position. Very interested to see how the format sort of develops with this list, but we are still under the old list for at least another week, so let's get back to building our deck. So glad we don't have to worry about the ban list. Let's fucking go.
Alright, we have the new version of the deck build, and we're going to do a full deck profile here just to speak about some of the cards in a little bit more detail. So, of course, starting things off, we have the boy, the Keeper of Dragon Magic package that I showed off in the last episode, and, you know, it's been there throughout the entire series. But 3 Keeper, 1 Instant Fusion that we search off the Keeper, 1 Bufolicula that we search off the Ambulance, 1 Cobra that we summon off the Ambulance, and 1 Super Poly, which is potentially cuttable, but I do want to play the 1 just because it is searchable off Cobra, and like we can just search another branded fusion if we need to, but having Super Poly in there just makes it a little bit more flexible, a little bit more versatile against so many different matchups that Super Poly will come in handy for. The great thing about this is that Cobra isn't as much as a brick as it is in bigger Predaplant builds, because when you have half the deck being Predaplants and you open Cobra, you can't do anything with that entire engine. Whereas with Keeper, if you open the Cobra, you can just search Branded Fusion and you're good to go. So Cobra actually isn't that big of a brick as it used to be. And besides the Super Poly, I don't think we can cut any of this, so that's 7 cards there. We of course have the Patchwork engine, very nice for advantage. Double Patchwork, double Poly, and double Edge Imp Chain, 2/2/2. Seeing Patchwork's always going to be the best option, or Edge Imp Chain if we have sort of like a discard effect like Keeper discard Edge Imp Chain is incredible. Lubellion discard Edge Imp Chain, really nice. Branded Opening discard Edge Imp Chain, really nice. Or just Poly with an Edge Imp Chain, really nice. Such a good package, and because we are playing that package, I've bumped the Albaz count up to 3. Speaking of, from there we are going triple Branded Fusion, of course. Like I said, we have the 3 Albaz, 3 Branded Opening. We're just kind of like maxing out on all the starters here. Only 2 Aluber. So historically, Branded Despia lists are like between 40 and sort of 46 cards. If we are maintaining above 40, I would like to pick up the 3rd Aluber as an additional starter for the deck. So that's probably something we want to trade into very soon. For the rest of the Despia monsters, we of course have 1 Tragedy and 1 Dramaturge. Adlib I don't feel like is 100% necessary, and I really want to cut down on the sort of singular cards that don't do anything by themselves. Otherwise, you're just kind of like begging a brick. For branded spells and traps, we are playing the 1 copy of Branded Lost. You know, Aluber plus Branded Fusion. Normal summon Aluber, get Branded Lost, and then Branded Fusion just pops off. Lost is such a nice card to have. We are, of course, running the 1 Branded in Red and 1 Branded Banishment. We don't have Guardian Chimera yet, which makes Branded in Red super, super nice. And also, we have to be wary of Bestials, which do kind of counteract these 2 cards. So 1 each is fine. And in our combo with Bestial Lubellion, we can't actually set Branded in Red because there's no Despia monsters in the graveyard. So we do need to play the Branded Banishment at least. And then for this build specifically, I opted to play 1 Theater. We need this because of Shifter. I want as many different lines to play through Shifter as possible, and adding in the Theater means Branded Fusion through Shifter is at least 2 Masquerade. So it's definitely worth making space for the 1 Theater here. Moving on from there, we have Cartesia, so good for advantage, just comes back to the hand every end phase. An additional polymerization at times can be searched off of Branded Lost, of course, as well, but it is our light target in the deck for Branded Fusion to summon Albion. Until we get Lubellion at least, then we can play both. And of course, because we want to be able to play into Shifter, Tragedy can't be the only option we have. We're also playing a copy of Mercurier. This can also just be searched off of Branded Lost for an additional negate, potentially even to allow you to play through Nibiru, even though the deck doesn't really care about Nibiru as much by itself anyway. And then because we are playing Mercurier and Branded Lost, I'm opting to play the Albion and the Branded Sword package. It's so nice for advantage, you know, adding back the Mercurier as well with the Branded Sword is super nice. Sometimes you just discard Branded Sword, you're able to add things like Albaz back from the banish pile later on. It feels so good, but it is cuttable. And because we have gone over 40, I'm considering taking these 2 out, but right now I just really like playing them. 1 Called by the Grave, obviously, because Ash on Branded Fusion is something we want to try and avoid as much as possible. Called by the Grave, you know, makes that possible. And then the kind of flexy spots, we have 2 Magnamoot because we only have 2. 3 Druis Worm, I want to swap these ratios around so it's 3/2. And then we are main decking the 3 shifter because we can. Why not? I wanted to try it out in the main rather than the side. Tearlaments is obviously the best deck right now, so we might as well main it just to also kill a lot of decks that don't play through shifter. So currently 43 cards in the main deck. Getting the 3rd Aluber would make that 44. You will notice we're not playing the Saronir that we traded for, and that's because honestly I don't really like the Saronir in the deck. Like, yeah, you can dump a branded spell or trap, but your only good options are Retribution, which I don't really like by itself as a card anyway, and it only gets you recursion back from the graveyard, so you already have to have set up for that to actually work. Branded Sword is another good option to send, but like I said, that is cuttable, so, you know, Branded Sword and Saronir, probably not worth it. And then, like, Branded Opening just for protection. But Saronir, I think the other Bestials are much more playable and generic and good, so yeah, I don't think it's worth maining this, but we will hold on to it for now. Only card I think we're truly missing here is, of course, the Bestial Lubellion, and then therefore Branded Beast, potentially even Regained. I don't even know if I want to play Regained because, like I said, we want to minimize the cards that don't really do anything by themselves to avoid bricking where possible. Getting into the extra deck, I feel like there are some considerations we need to make here. So starting off with the Ambulance, of course, mandatory for instant fusion, which didn't get banned. Let's go instead of the Kit Kalos. We have double Dragostapalia. I was considering playing 1, but 2 is just so much better with branded banishment and things like that. I think it's definitely worth having the second one. We have 1 Starving Venom. I feel like we always want to be playing this so that we never have to care about any Towers monsters ever. This can beat over, you know, Marincess, 10k booty. This can beat over Arrival. Can pretty much beat over anything, and that's why we always want to be playing that card so we don't get, you know, surprised by like an unaffected monster. 2 Albion, 1 Lubellion, 1 Alba Lenatus, and 2 Mirror Jades. Honestly, going into the Kashtira format, because they can banish a card from your extra deck, and they do play Arise Heart, if they banish our Lubellion, we can't really play with Branded Fusion. So I'm considering swapping the Alba Lenatus for the second Lubellion, which makes sense against the Diabolosis, but also gives us value to trade with the Alba Lenatus. I've forgotten why this card is good. I think the only reason I want to play it is because we could search Fusion Destiny off it, but because we're no longer playing the DPE engine or the Fusion Destiny, we can just trade this away and get the value back out of it, potentially towards like a Guardian Chimera or something. Also, the second Lubellion is just better against Kashtira. We're playing double Masquerade, of course, FDK right there, pay your taxes. Once again, going into Kashtira format, I'm thinking of bumping this up to 3, but going second in that case, I don't know if Masquerade's the play anyway, so, you know, it's just a consideration to make. Maybe going up to 3 on here, play around the Diabolosis, we'll see. Currently, we just have the Despian Curatus. Not a huge fan of this card by itself. It's not a negate or anything. It can float, but your opponent can just beat over it, you know? But hey, it's a card that we're playing right now. And then, of course, we have the Garura for Super Poly. We can make this with, like, Keeper and any Bestial, you know, even Albaz and a Bestial, things like that. But, you know, it's a great Super Poly target, especially going into this new format where a bunch of new decks probably become more competitive as the slice of Tearlaments and Flunderies goes down. And then we have the Millenniumize Restrict for the instant fusion to avoid getting Ash Blossomed. 15 cards, we do need to make space for the Guardian Chimera, so we probably cut the Queritus for the Chimera, I think. But we'll see, we'll see. Then side deck hasn't changed whatsoever. We have the other 2 Super Poly, triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Dark Ruler, triple Eradicator, Dark Law, and triple Mask Change 2. If Tearlaments are actually a dead deck, then the Mask Change 2 we don't really need anymore. We need more counters for the Kashtira matchup. Nibiru, Book of Eclipse, things like that, and whatever the new tier 1 decks are. I mean, we're probably going to have to think about the mirror match, honestly, because Branded got untouched. So Super Poly probably becomes an even better card again. Maybe even need to put these in the main deck eventually over like the Shifter. I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. But as of right now, that's our side deck. Overall, loving it. Very, very juicy, but the format is only just going to start developing. We're going to need to take it week by week and see how we can overcome the competition.
So F to all the fallen soldiers that we dropped today that helped us get to where we are. And some more bad news, F to the locals we've been going to all this time. Yeah, Reset Aberdeen has officially shut its doors due to the rising cost of everything, and it's very, very sad to see. For that reason, we don't have a locals to attend this week, but there is one more local venue that's just hanging on for us to start going to, but this does mean that there's no gameplay today. Just a kind of update on where we're at and where the deck is currently going. We have a couple of weeks before we go to this new regional. We need to test this deck out, so stay tuned for the next episode where we get our first locals experience with the Despian Dream.